Why women leave good men. Here's the real reason, gentlemen. Let me tell you about one of my clients. We'll call him Michael. Michael was a devoted husband. He never cheated, he provided for his family, and always came home after work. And he truly believed he was giving his wife the life that she really deserved. Then one morning, she set him down and said words that shattered his world. I love you, but I'm not in love with you anymore. How many times have maybe we've heard a story or maybe that's happened to you? So Michael was totally blindsided. He thought that being a good, loyal, consistent man was enough to keep the relationship strong, but it wasn't. Here's the harsh truth, gentlemen. Statistics show that nearly 70% of divorces are initiated by women. And many of these women are not leaving bad men, they're leaving good men. So why does this really happen? I mean, why do women walk away from men who are stable, kind, and supportive? I mean, obviously we want that. But today I'm going to reveal the reasons, really real reasons, why women leave good men, and most importantly, what you can do about it. Because it's not just about being a bad guy, and it's not about being perfect, okay? It's about understanding attraction, understanding polarity, understanding presence, understanding the masculine and feminine. There are keys to keeping a woman's heart for life. And there's keys in attraction and relationships that many of us don't learn. So stay tuned. So if this is your first time visiting this channel, my name is Apollonia Ponti. I'm a dating relationship coach, and I've been doing this work for over 8 years, and I help men really get into long-lasting relationships to find their wife and be in a relationship that fulfills them for the rest of their life. The thing is, gentlemen, we don't always want flowers. We just want someone that is going to be present with us. And you might be thinking, gosh, Apollonia, women are just so difficult. Maybe we are. But men are raised to believe that formula is simple. Be nice, be stable, be loyal, and love will last forever. But that's not how attraction works. Here's the challenge that many men face. Is nice versus magnetic. Being nice is appreciated, but it doesn't create desire, peace, or really positivity. It creates peace versus passivity. Avoiding conflict to keep the peace often leads to emotional disconnect. And providing versus partnering. A paycheck and a roof don't equal emotional intimacy. Attraction fades without polarity as well. That's the masculine, that's the feminine. Masculine and feminine energy must balance. When a man loses his edge, attraction dies. So, I once had a client, let's call him Ryan. Ryan quickly told me, proudly, I never fight with my wife. I just let her have her way every time. But 6 months later, she left him, saying she didn't feel connected to him anymore or attracted. What he thought was love was actually passiveness. So I want to go into these reasons of why women leave men that I see every day of my life in coaching, basically. Okay? One of the biggest ones is he stopped leading her. Let me give you another example. Let's call him James. James, one of my clients, was a kind man. He was always said to be a kind man. He would always ask, what do you want to do tonight? His girlfriend initially appreciated his flexibility, but over time, she felt buried, like always having to decide. She admitted to him later, like, I wanted him to plan something to show initiative, but he never did. She wanted to feel like she could relax, which is part of her feminine, follow his lead. Instead of asking, what do you want to eat? What do you want to do? I have to do this because I don't want to get her mad. Because a woman wants to feel taken care of. And that's part of being taken care of. There's a difference between over-dominance and being dominant. So men are raised to believe like this formula is simple. Be this nice, be this stable man, and be loyal, and love will last forever. But that's not how attraction works, actually. A lot of men misconstrue leadership. Leadership is not dictating or telling someone what to do in a relationship. It means that I make the decisions to better trust us, to better for you to trust me in the relationship and me as a man, so then I can lead you and trust of you to feel supported. So then that woman can naturally fall into her feminine. But many men can't lead when they don't have the confidence to make decisions, first of all. right? So if this is you, start with small steps. Pick a restaurant, plan a date, suggest a weekend activity. Leadership isn't about control, it's about direction, guys. Number two is he confuses peace with passivity. So here's the thing, guys, is we always think, oh, I don't want to argue with this person, and we avoid conflict. But at many times in relationships, in order for you to grow in a relationship, you have to communicate through conflict. And actually, that's how you grow. And that's actually how you become more connected. A woman wants to see when you're appreciative of things, of course, but also a woman wants to see when you're unappreciative of things and also want to do better. People want to be challenged every day in their life. And that is a healthy challenge, right? So you can say, I don't always like how late you are all the time. What do we need to do to make this different? It's a partnership, you communicating, and you're sticking up for your needs and your boundaries, right? So instead of saying, oh, yeah, you're right, I'm sorry, I have to change, I have to change. And when all along, deep down, you had valid reasons that you never really expressed. That's the true problem. So when we become passive, it really makes us complacent. Complacent does not lead to attraction in a relationship. So learn healthy conflict, saying, I hear you, but here's my perspective. What do you think? How can we understand each other's perspective and get each other to engage in a relationship, in a conversation is necessary, and it's very important. Number three is he lost emotional presence. Many men ask me, Apollonia, but I'm successful and I'm providing and I'm doing all of this for her. And yes, that's amazing. And I think more men than ever should wear this as a chip on their shoulder, because it's a beautiful thing that a man creates a life that can be sustainable for his family. But at the same time, a lot of emotional absence can happen in this because we get so devoted into our work and we feel overwhelmed. And that's the only thing that we're focusing on. And then you think that you're not appreciated because she doesn't see what you're doing. So that's why communication is very important, but also understanding that it doesn't justify the emotional capacity that your person needs, the woman needs in a relationship. And so sometimes we just focus on work and providing. Well, I'm giving her this. And then she's thinking, well, he doesn't open up to me. And I feel really alone when he's not here or when he even is here. So if this speaks to you in a relationship right now, I want you to dedicate like 15 minutes a day to just being fully present, phones away, asking truly deeper questions. Like, what was the best part of your day today? And just starting the conversation from there. Number four is you abandon your purpose. So a lot of times men get married or get in a relationship, they build this career and have all these hobbies, and then all of a sudden it comes to a halt. All their goals and everything revolve around their wife, their girl, and that's it. And so the girl becomes a purpose. Your wife should always be a purpose. Ahead, also with that, would be your purpose to provide as a family, but also to keep your emotional well-being. And the way to keep your emotional well-being is to have goals, is to have hobbies, is to do things for yourself, to better yourself, to feel good to yourself, so then you can fill your cup and give it to your home. And so what's important here is a woman doesn't want the pressure that you are her purpose, her sole purpose. That's a lot of pressure, especially if she's going to have kids or has them, right? I think a lot of times when we think like this, we think, I don't know, as long as I have this woman, I'm good. But on her thinking, she says, I don't want to be his purpose. I want to join a man who already has one. You see what I mean? And so if this speaks to you, I want you to kind of reclaim your mission. Women are deeply attracted to men who live with the drive and ambition in their life, have goals, have purpose. You don't have to have this huge amount of purpose and all this stuff. It could be just coaching a little league soccer, right? But you're driven by it. It lights you up and you love it. Number five is you put her on a pedestal. You put her on a pedestal because maybe she is one of those women that are beautiful or something that you haven't desired in a long time, and you've desired for a long time and you haven't had attention from women. This one woman gave you attention and you put her on her pedestal, right? You adore her, you call her your queen, and you're constantly prioritizing her because you put her needs over yours. Because in your mind, that's what a man should do. Great. Maybe he should in a marriage from time to time, but not all the time. It feels amazing for someone to put our needs, their needs before ours at times, but it's not all the time. And it's not human to do that. And people want to be loved, but we don't want to be worshiped. One of the things is anything you do, you only do for her. And that's where you have to be careful. And you have this mindset of anything you want, I'll do it, right? But on the other side, she's thinking, but what do you want? What is your strength? Where are you? Who is this man, right? So if this speaks to you, you can still love her deeply. You can still care for her, but you don't lose yourself in it. A healthy relationship is about balance, guys, not worship. So the real reason why women leave good men isn't because they're bad, unworthy, or failures. It's because the spark of polarity in leadership and emotional presence faded, right? Eventually, when you work and you reclaim your presence and you start planning dates and you start reconnecting with your mission and your goals and your purpose, and you start setting boundaries, within months, your woman or your wife or your ex can look at you with a new set of eyes, gentlemen. Because all along she said, I feel like I'm falling in love with you again because of the fact that you're doing all of these new things. So here's a key takeaway. Women don't want perfection, gentlemen. They want polarity. They want a man who leads with clarity, who has a purpose, who loves them deeply, but never loses sight of himself. Because a man that never loses sight of himself is a man that can eventually lead a woman to feel safe and in her feminine to nurture the man in the household. So good men, this is not about changing who you are, okay? It's about reclaiming the qualities that you already have, but just may have been buried for maybe a couple of years now, or trying to keep the peace all the time. Trying to keep the peace isn't really peace. It's just built up resentment. So if you recognize yourself in any of these stories, it's not too late. If you want to continue to try to rebuild or reattract or help out with your marriage or reattract your ex, you can reignite attraction. I do this all the time. You can rebuild polarity, but it starts with you choosing to lead again, and that is leading yourself. So if you want to lead yourself and you need help in this department, I want you to click that link below, and there's a form. Fill out that form, give me some information about your situation, and let's see how we can work together. Because I don't want you to be blindsided and never have a woman that you love in your life, or be blindsided by a breakup, or be blindsided and say these relationships aren't for me, because they are. So let's work together, because I'm going to make you the kind of man, gentlemen, that a woman will never walk away from. So as always, comment, share, like this video, and I'll see you in the next one. And remember, you are always loved. Bye for now.